I'm gonna start recording right here. Okay, we got these tents out here behind City Hall. Can anybody give me a number?
36.
There's 36 tents out here behind City Hall right now. Somebody says 27. Okay. And this is Gator. Gator, I want to ask you a question. You know, like what happens when you have been in a shelter and they tell you to go? Where do you go?
To the streets.
And how long do you stay on the streets?
As long as it takes to find a place or couch surfing.
All right. So you're over 8 hours.
Oh yeah,
Definitely over 8
days,
hours.
weeks, months.
So have you been approached by anybody about the sit and lie law?
Yeah, a few officers down by the rivers and
Okay.
stuff like that, and that's by Upriver Road.
Okay. Let me move on to the next one. And what is your name?
I'm Samson.
Okay, Samson. What happens when you leave the shelter?
You got to come to downtown, or you know, go somewhere where you can sit down. You know, because we're not allowed to sit down.
See, when do you get when you leave the shelter? When do you get to go to a restroom?
When?
Yeah. When do you get? What's your next spot?
Wherever there's another public restroom available. You know, because
Right. Okay.
that's.
You feel the sit and lie is an unfair law?
Oh yeah. I haven't been approached about the sit and lie myself. You know, because I think they know by now if they write me a sit and lie ticket, they're going to lose. You know, I'm going to appeal it all the way and involve the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and you know I don't think they want to do that with me.
Now you've been to UGM. What does UGM do to you?
I've been in UGM. It's been a while. The only time I ever tricked into UGM was when I had a significant other, and she didn't want to be out on the street, so I opted to go to UGM.
Did they say you have to go to church?
Yeah.
It's
a faith-based organization, which a lot of people on the streets out here don't like. A lot of people shy away from the UGM only because of the faith-based organization type thing, you know. And like I said, I've talked to a lot of people out here on the streets, and that's their main thing about UGM is they don't want to get involved in it because they're forced to do religion and church and things like that.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Let's go to you. What is your name?
Brian.
Bryan. Please meet Bryan. Now, how do you feel have you been to a shelter?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what happens to you when you leave the shelter? How long are you on the streets?
I mean, anywhere from all day to sometimes it's days at a time, but it's just always at the mercy of police, something like that, just because of my past, because where I've been.
Do you have a hard time finding a restroom where they won't tell you to leave?
Absolutely.
So how do you feel about the sit and lie since you are here in Spokane?
I mean, I think it's complete crap and it's unjust. Because what do they expect somebody that's homeless to do? Where do they expect us to go? If they don't have a spot for us to go, then what are we supposed to do?
Right.
Except get a ticket just because we're sitting on the sidewalk. I mean, how is that fair?
It's not. Let's go to Ziggy. Ziggy, do you want to say anything? We got another fellow right here. What is your name?
Slugger.
What?
Slugger.
Okay. So, have you been to a shelter before?
Yes, many times.
So what happens when you leave the shelter?
You find a place from around 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock in the night.
Okay, so you have a hard time finding places that let you use the restrooms.
Yes.
Okay. When you go ask to use the restroom, what do they tell you usually?
Usually they tell us no.
Okay.
And usually, sometimes the nicer ones, they say yes. They're the ones that I think understand small bladder syndrome
Right.
and stuff, issues that people deal with, like myself. I deal with small bladder syndrome.
Okay.
When I have to go pee, I gotta go pee.
Okay.
Or I'm gonna pee on your head.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to show these tents here. Let's see. Make sure I don't get any people on this camera here. It's behind City Hall, and we have a lot of tents here right now. They're all the same colors, and they're lining the sidewalk all the way down to where Mobius is. tents. As you see, I'm walking. We come up to the Mobius Science Center. Here it is. Here we go. Mobius Science Center, and we have about 6 tents down here. Well, I just want people to know give a few feedback on the people on the streets. This is Heart Mad Hatter.